You can call me Mystic Mike because I predict these things.
Merab Dvalishvili takes on Umar Nurmagomedov in the co-main event of this weekend's UFC 311 pay-per-view in Los Angeles, California. This is for the bantamweight strap. It's for all the marbles. I feel like this is going to be a very good fight between two guys that are pretty evenly matched. I do think one is a little bit more well-rounded and is going to take this fight. A lot of people are complaining that Umar Nurmagomedov doesn't deserve this fight, that he's kind of getting gifted it just due to his lineage, last name, that type of thing. And I get it, but I think he's very talented in that division. You look at the rankings, it's like, who else are we going to give the title shot to? You got Sean O'Malley, who just lost to Merab. He doesn't deserve an immediate rematch. Then you got Umar, you got Petr Yan, Corey Sandhagen, Deiveson Figueiredo. Like, yeah, Petr Yan should probably get the next belt, next shot at the belt. Corey Sandhagen just lost to Umar. Deiveson Figueiredo just lost to Petr Yan. Marlon Vera just lost to Deiveson Figueiredo. Henry Cejudo just lost to Merab. Song Yadong just lost to Petr. Like, that's your entire 1 through 8 right there. And then you got Rob Font and Mario Batista. So not a lot of other options. Kind of a log jam there with guys being inactive and a lot of guys going one win, one loss, one win, one loss. So I understand why they're giving it to Umar Nurmagomedov. Very talented fighter, coming off of a win over Corey Sandhagen, who also a very talented guy, very well-rounded. Kind of won the majority of engagements in that fight. Was never really threatened. Umar's very good in the stand-up. Has very good underrated wrestling. One of those weird Dagestanis who started kind of striking, and then developed very good grappling to kind of balance out his game, if you know what I'm saying. Opposite of the way that Khabib and Islam went about it, where they were primarily grapplers and then developed their striking a little bit later. Islam developing his to a very high level versus Khabib, who was decent. But like I said, beat Corey Sandhagen, beat Beksat Almakhan, who's a really good fighter. I think he's out of Kazakhstan. He came in on short notice. Yeah, dropped Umar in that fight. So he's definitely somebody to look out for. But Umar ended up beating him. Knocked out Raoni Barcelos, which is a great win to have. Before that, Nate Maness, who's very underrated. Brian Kelleher, decent win. Sergey Morozov. Again, not terrible names. This guy's taking out everybody from Ukraine, seems like. Or Kazakhstan, sorry. But guy has 6 wins in a row in the UFC. I get that it's not maybe top tier talent, but it seemed like a lot of his fights were falling through, that or people were just turning him down. He wasn't able to get any names, so not really his fault. So Merab Dvalishvili, primarily a wrestler, kind of a boring guy. It's kind of frustrating. He's one of those guys that chirps a lot and starts a lot of drama outside of the cage, and then he gets in the cage and all he's doing is shooting single legs. So reminds me of Manel Kape versus Mokaev, all that talk, and then they get in the cage and just stare at each other for 15 minutes. But guy spams takedowns for 25 minutes straight. Doesn't really give his opponents a chance to get anything going against him. Honestly, it's hard for people to plant their feet and throw any shots to hurt him when he's constantly shooting takedowns. They're having to defend it. They're having to think about defending takedowns. But I do feel like Umar is going to be the kryptonite to Merab. I think that he's going to be able to defend the takedowns, frustrate Merab, and be able to land the better strikes on the feet. So I do think that Umar gets this one done. Whatever those guys are doing, the Usman, Nurmagomedovs, Khabibs, Islams, Umars, like, those guys are just a super team. It's hard to pick against these guys at this point. And I say that and I immediately think of Gadzulov, who just fought last weekend, the other Dagestani who just looked awful. But he's not a part of their camp, so he doesn't count. So I do think that Umar's going to win this. Very good striker, very good kicks. Big for the division, 5'8", like taller than Arman Tsarukyan. 2 weights down, essentially longer and taller than Tsarukyan. Like I said, 5'8", 69-inch reach, only 29 years old. Merab, 34, 5'6", 68-inch reach. He'll have, let's do some math here. 2 inches on the height, 1 inch on reach, so not crazy, but he will be bigger. I think that he's going to be the much better striker, and I think that he's going to have the skills to be able to defend the takedowns against Merab. where he won a lot of his fights. You know, Sean O'Malley just getting takedowns, out-wrestled Cejudo, but Cejudo shouldn't be at 135. He should be at 125. Had a good fight up against Petr Yan. I still think Petr Yan can beat him if they rematch. And then just held Jose Aldo against the cage. Had a very good comeback win against Marlon Moraes, where he was almost getting finished himself in that one. Lost a few fights before to Frankie Sainz and Ricky Simon. So, not a good look. So he is beatable. He's just an absolute cardio machine with, you know, infinite takedowns. Never seen, I mean, I don't think we've ever seen anybody like that. Somebody with the motor and the cardio that he has. But I do think that Umar is going to be able to defend the takedowns enough to land the better strikes. Not sure if I see a finish in this one. I feel like Umar Nurmagomedov, he's got some, you know, some knockouts. He's got some submissions. I could see him subbing Merab. I also could see him knocking him out. So not really sure. I'm not confident enough in this one to be definitive in how I think it's going to end. But if I had to guess, I would think that Umar would probably catch Merab coming in with a submission or a knockout blow. So I'm gonna pick Umar Nurmagomedov to take this one by submission against Merab Dvalishvili. Let me know what you guys think. The odds are pretty slanted in Umar's favor, -350, which is just, I just feel like that's crazy considering the run that Merab's been on. That dude hasn't lost since 2018. 11 fight win streak. A lot of decisions though. But I do think that, you know, I do think that Umar has the skills to kind of nullify everything that Merab brings to the table. Only thing I am worried about is, you know, just cardio. Just Merab, that's his biggest weapon, but we haven't seen Umar really struggle with that. We just saw him go 5 hard rounds with Corey Sandhagen, who's a major threat. And then finishing a lot of good guys before that, or, you know, just completely dominating them. So gonna go with Umar Nurmagomedov by submission in this one. Thanks, guys.